Hey, welcome or welcome back to Grey the Gold Witch. Today we're doing a reading on messages from your heart. There are 4 piles. The first is orange calcite. The second is carnelian. The third is this guy. And the fourth is sodalite. So take a second and pause the video if you need to meditate on the piles. Timestamps are linked below, and I'll see you in your reading. Hey, pile 1, if you chose the orange calcite, then this is your reading on messages from your heart. So, your heart is telling you to face the things that bother you and be honest with yourself about what isn't working in your life and what causes you strife. Because in this tension, in this difficulty, is where you'll find your truth. What is it about how other people live their lives that frustrates you? And what does that say? How can you use that to tell you what you don't like about how you live your life? There's something about noticing what bothers you externally, about how the world operates, about how people around you operate, to give you some insight into what isn't working in your life, patterns you are tired of living in, patterns you're tired of being consumed by. Because something I see about you is that you have a very brilliant mind and see things in a very insightful way. And I feel like you don't really relate to a lot of the chaos happening in the world, and you feel like an alien on this planet sometimes. And that it's hard for you to relate to people. And I see that you might relate to past figures, past historical figures, archetypes of people, like painters who were outsiders. I think you very much relate to the outsider archetype. Even The Scarlet Letter, I just bought that book. Yeah, by Nathaniel Hawthorne. There's something about being an outsider to the world. And your heart is telling you you aren't alone. And there's something about interacting with nature, interacting with the world, and seeing that you're connected to things like the trees and the birds, and finding connection to nature. There might be things about the world that have been modernized that make you feel less connected. You might not really relate to social media or just a lot of people's current concerns in the world that are very self-focused. I think you're kind of like a transcendentalist, like Thoreau, who went into the woods in Walden and just hid from the world. But where this tension is, I'm seeing the vulture card and the egg. It's really cool both of these came out. It's in this outsider quality of you that you produce your joy, you find your fulfillment. You find a way to relate to other people who've been through the same things. It's like you identify with the misfits and the people who just don't go along with how society operates just to fit in. You're happy you don't fit in. And your heart is telling you that there are people that identify with how you operate. And I think you kind of feel resigned to this fate of being separate from people and not feeling connected to how others live. And you're happy you're not like some of these people. I think you think they're kind of like machines in a cogs in a machine. And yeah, there's just a sense of lonesomeness here where your heart wants you to know that you aren't alone, and there's people who identify with what you've been through, and this tension and this difficulty is what's making you into a stronger person. It's giving you success, and new perspectives on life. And I think by focusing on the things specifically that bother you about contemporary society, you'll be able to put more, it'll be less subconscious, this repelling feeling you have towards how people operate. And there's been a lot of people in the past who've stood up against whatever society or norms were normal in the environments they were around. And I think focusing on that could give you some peace. On the people who rebelled against the norm, the people who stood up for their rights to be different than. Yeah, you're definitely not a sheep. There's something here about you feeling the pain of being exiled from the masses, but also knowing that there's something different for you, and you wouldn't be leaving these conventions if you knew there wasn't something different out there for you. It's interesting, Taoism talks about how people who really begin to understand how the universe works connects to the chaos of the universe and find satisfaction in their lives. This was a ancient Eastern religion or spirituality, and I think you'd find a lot of insights about yourself in Taoism. And it talks about how those people would be hermits and connect to nature away from the conventions of society because they lose their way around those paths. And I also love that birds are here and butterflies because those are signs of enlightenment. You're on this path of enlightenment and you might feel stuck. You might be in the midst of a society that you feel you don't relate to, whether that be in materialism, social media, whatever it might be that doesn't feel like it relates to your heart. There's a tension there that is going to be your greatest strength, and a lot of people identify with what you are experiencing. And you're not meant to be fearful of this society, you're meant to understand it and fully internalize and understand why you are repelled by these things and why you feel the need to isolate and don't feel as though you fit. Yeah. There's something about the out group and the in group and you experiencing this to bring people in the out group into community. I'm thinking about the counterculture movement of the 1960s where people who didn't agree with the norms of society really came together and fought for individualism and standing up for oneself, being different. There's something about that here, in that you might feel tied down and frustrated now, but you're going to have some beautiful times with people who understand the way you operate. And this journey sometimes can be lonely, but you're not going to be without community who gets it soon. So your heart's saying you're meant to defy the norm, you're meant to go against the grain, and you're a path maker, and you're meant to embrace these parts of you and not be frustrated by them. I feel like there's this inner conflict within you where you know that the way things are operating around you doesn't fit you, but you also are mad at yourself for not being able to fit. And you're meant to forgive yourself for that and realize it's giving you an opportunity to grow and create a new space for yourself and other people that wasn't there before. So I can feel a hope in what can come from this, and I just hope you realize that what makes you different is your strength. This is your strength here. And being around animals and in nature, I think you'll feel a connection when you feel separate from the way other people think around you. So, in September reminds me of fall and beginning to shed the leaves of what no longer serves you, what no longer aligns with your heart and your values. And you're meant to be courageous in this sense because you're creating a space. That's really what I'm seeing. You're creating a space for people to be more genuine to their hearts and what's right for them. That's the path you're on right now. Okay, so I want to look at the tarot cards now. I keep hearing Sunflower by Post Malone in my head. Or Sunflower, your love will be too much. There's people who aren't going to align with how you are operating, and they won't continue with you on your path, and that's something you have to learn to accept. You can't carry everything with you. And to be great is to be misunderstood. Okay. What does pile 1 need to hear from their heart? Okay. The 10 of Swords. The 8 of Wands. The Ace of Wands. The King of Pentacles. The 9 of Cups in reverse. And the 4 of Cups. And the 6 of Cups in reverse is on the back of the deck. I also have some oracle cards for this portion of the reading too. We have the 3rd house, midheaven, last quarter. Sophie Calais put on a good show for the surveillance cameras. That's so funny, talking about surveillance states as we talk about things in society that our hearts don't agree with. Distance makes the heartbreak stronger and invade neighboring states of privacy. Okay. And we have, when I lean on certainty and faith, I exchange my mind about the world I see. That's really cool. Okay. Spirit's working with you really closely in this time in your journey. And I really feel like you're bringing something new. You're adding a new ingredient into the pot of this world. I don't know how to best explain it besides your perspective is valid and you are standing up for what's right for you. You're a very original thinker. And we have a tendency in society throughout centuries to normalize the abnormal, normalize what doesn't feel right to our hearts. There's just so many horrible things that were normalized in the past that have been shown for what they are today, but there's still things within our society now that are normalized that... Sorry, my cat knocked over the light. Yeah, like surveillance technology in society, being tracked, and yeah, I don't want to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but I feel like there's things. The Spirit's using this as an example for me to realize or to know that you're meant to go against the grain. You're meant to notice what doesn't work for you, what egoic principles, what standards in society don't align with your soul. This could be mass consumption. This could be fighting for the getting rid of pipelines and fossil fuels and doing things that are, you might have a very strong protective spirit towards the earth. And you might be surrounded by people who really are aligned with values that you're not aligned with. And this is a blessing in disguise because you're going to find the people who operate on the same frequency of the heart with you. And this isn't your destiny. This is who you're meant to be. And you're in a period right now where you're shedding things that used to align with your life that no longer do. Things that you used to conform to in society that you can no longer conform to. You're in a process of shedding what no longer serves you. And it could have been put in your path by the divine at some point to teach you things, but at this point you're shedding things that no longer serve you. And you're learning how to communicate what truly feels right to you, the values that align with who you truly are. And you've had to experience pain and realize that enough is enough and you can't continue to operate in these ways anymore. and you're being vocal about what works for you and what doesn't. And I feel like you have a passion in your life fighting for what feels right to you. With the King of Pentacles here, I see you're going to be very confident in what you stand for and what's right for you. You're going to be very inspired and really acting from the heart in your life. This is your heart saying that although these experiences have been difficult, you are aligned with your heart and you are doing something very beautiful and priceless with your time and energy. And you're going to raise in confidence in knowing that you're on the right path and you're doing the right things for yourself. And as you lean on the certainty and faith, you're going to have a lot more hope and inspiration in the actions you're taking. And I think you're really going to inspire people by the path you take. And it really feels like a path less traveled, a path that a lot of people in society are not taking right now. And you feel like a trailblazer, someone who you're led by your intuition, you're led by what doesn't feel right. Even if everyone around you is buying into whatever this is, you're not. And the more you trust in your values, in your integrity, in your ability to quickly know what's right for you or what's not, you're going to become more empowered and able to continue to expand in these gifts. I'm seeing you just expanding in your authenticity because you're no longer being suppressed by trying to keep things that aren't normal to you normalized. You're not normalizing the abnormal in your life. And your heart's saying you're on the right track. And your heart wants you to feel valid in this inspiration, in this trajectory. And you're creating a path that other people can go down because other people feel like these outsiders that can't conform to this group too. And you're showing them that there's a way to better empower yourself and be true to who you truly are and what your heart wants. Yeah, you're a change maker for sure. And your heart is making it really clear that you have a very clear perspective on what's right for you. And Spirit's really brought you like a new path you can take that won't be draining on your soul. And you're meant to follow this and trust in your insights and follow your dharma, because this is your fate. This is what you were meant to come down with midheaven here. This is the path you're meant to take. I remember when I was little, like in kindergarten, and my elementary school had a copy of The Path Less Traveled by Robert Frost on the wall when you first walked into my elementary school. I always just stared at it, and I think it was because I was taking a path outside of conviction in my life. And that's what I'm seeing for you too. And you've known this since you were young. You've always felt a little outside of the norm. And if you experienced life like me, or had a similar experience to me, you might have spent time in your life trying to conform to things that didn't really satisfy your heart or soul. And you're at a period now where you're really aligning with your heart and doing what feels right, regardless of how that individuation affects how you're perceived, because there are things in our society that are normalized that aren't normal, and you're fighting against those things. So, yes, Paiwan, this is beautiful. Your heart is very strong, and you're doing great things. So, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my readings, and I'll see you in another video. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 2, if you chose the carnelian stone, then this is your reading on messages from your heart. So, for those who picked this pile, you have dealt with some grief over the changing dynamics of your relationships and how things aren't how they once were. And Spirit is saying that everything that's happening in your relationships right now is of your highest good, even if you can't see exactly why. And there's a love that you were pouring out onto other people that you are being asked to pour back into yourself. This green and this pink, they're both signs of the heart chakra. So that's a very strong indication that the way you give yourself more love, the way you feel better, is by tending to self-care, by doing what your body needs, rather than telling yourself you should be doing certain things, being hyper-productive or constantly going. You're being asked to be gentle with yourself and love on yourself, and your heart is saying that the grief you feel, the way back into a sunrise, the way back into the springtime of this winter period you're in right now of pain in your relationships, is tending to yourself and loving yourself. There's something here about we accept the love we think we deserve, and if you're giving yourself more love, if someone treated you unfairly in the past or couldn't care for you in the way you needed to be cared for, you'll be able to know that more by caring more for yourself. Because sometimes when we're in relationships that aren't satisfying us, we tend to treat ourselves worse too, as like a way of excusing that behavior of that person. It kind of balances things out. But if you treat yourself better, give yourself more care, give yourself more love, you'll be able to see more clearly what isn't serving you. It feels as though people in your past didn't meet your needs in the way you needed them to or wanted them to. So you are being taught how to be dependable towards yourself and sincere towards helping yourself and loving yourself. And it seems like this person or these people, this situation, it wasn't ready to handle you with care. It had lessons of its own to learn, and it wasn't personal. And it isn't personal how this person acts. But that doesn't change the fact that you need to treat yourself with this love and care. Your heart's really asking you to focus on self-care and communicate your needs. Because the more you do this, the more you'll see this reflected in your outer environment. The more you love yourself, the more this love will be reflected externally. And this reconciliation card with the pineapple almost reminds me of you reconciling with yourself and giving yourself a happier life, being kinder to yourself, loving yourself more. And it seems like you have the opportunity now to show up in this way for yourself, show yourself this consistency. Because it feels as though you might feel resigned to the fact that things aren't working out in a certain way that you wanted them to. But this is telling you to be the change you wish to see in your life. And that it all starts with you. I'm being reminded of the movie Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I recently watched that, and this spread is really reminding me of that. Of cherishing the moment and making the most of what you're experiencing. It's like fully experiencing and loving your present moment. And you're learning how to do this. And your heart's asking you to learn how to do this. And I see that as you learn how to give yourself this care and love, as you show up for yourself in a gentle way, experiences in your external environment will pop up that inspire you and continue to add this vibrancy to your life. This spread is really reminding me, as within, so without. If you've dealt with precarious situations of people not treating you well, that's a sign for you to treat yourself better too. Sometimes the world can mirror to us what we need to be doing better for ourselves, And the fact that you are able to feel this love for this thing and still can feel this love and feel this happiness, that's a reminder that you can feel that way again. And you will feel that way again. And it all starts with you. It's all inside of you. And everything externally is a projection of our inner world. And it's by tending to ourselves that we're able to create that love and create that joy. We think it comes from other people and we project it onto our external environment. But by learning how to cultivate this within, no one will ever be able to take it from you regardless of the external circumstance. This is deciding that you're worthy of care and of getting your needs met. And you'll see how that starts to reverberate in your external world by making that conscious choice for yourself. And if you're watching this when I post, I think you're going to see the fruits of this as early as next month and in the springtime as well. This is choosing to love yourself and not let your external reality tell you how you should be treated. You decide. And it's learning how to be dependable and sincere towards yourself that you realize what you deserve externally. We accept the love we think we deserve. Is there anything else here? I think you might, these people have their eyes closed, and I feel like there's some facts about how people have treated you in the past that you've ignored. And the truth is, you deserve people who are able to give you the love that you need. And if they weren't able to, that's not an indication of your worth, it's an indication of what they weren't able to do. And if you believe that that love is possible towards you and you give it to yourself, you'll find relationships that give it too. Yeah, this is very beautiful. Your heart is saying you deserve this love. Okay, we're going to look at the tarot. For pile 2. What does pile 2? What are their messages from their heart? Okay, that's a lot. We have the King of Cups on the back of the deck. The Hermit in reverse. The King of Swords in reverse. The Wheel of Fortune. The Knight of Pentacles. The Nine of Swords. The Five of Wands. And the Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay, and then we have Air, 8, Mercury, Gustav Klimt. Every portrait is a self-portrait. That's exactly what we were talking about. If no group will have you, start your own. And like gold, eroticism fluctuates with the times. There's nothing sexier than my authentic truth. And when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Okay, so I think sometime in the recent past, and it doesn't have to be recent, just in the past, you were forced into a hermit mode. It wasn't something you went into willingly, or it wasn't your choice to go into it. And somebody was treating you coldly and unfairly. And for you to be separated from this person was a blessing from the divine, even though you couldn't see it that way, because in the moment you felt your mind had warped thinking, and you were thinking this behavior was normal, and you wanted to be appreciated so badly by this person that you put up with their behavior. And Spirit's saying that your heart needed to heal from this. And you've been moving forward and trying to figure things out, but I feel like you're still burdened by phantoms of the past and of that past pain. And how all of the fighting you've done for that situation didn't end up working out for you. And you didn't have the happy ending you hoped to have. And what Spirit's saying is that by being conscious of what you deserve, the beauty you deserve, by giving yourself that love, by being honest about your authentic truth rather than warping it to be whatever fit this past situation, you're going to find the love that you were looking for all along. It's almost as though you really tried to make this fit when it didn't. And in your mind, you tried to say everything was great whenever it just wasn't truly what you wanted. And Spirit had you adapt because you deserved better love from yourself and from other people. And this period has been of you realizing what you stand for, what matters to you. And you've really had to change your mindset and the patterns your mind has, and you've had to change core beliefs to give yourself that feeling of worth and love. And this is all a perspective shift. By realizing that you deserve better, and that what's attractive is you knowing that you deserve better. And knowing that the universe got rid of this situation and didn't give you that situation because it never would have been what you wanted. It was all an illusion. If you accept that it was an illusion and that there's something more substantial, much more beautiful, worlds more beautiful, that the universe is bringing in for you, you'll find a lot of peace. I feel like you've had a lot of difficulty with this situation because I think this situation was full with illusions, and you struggled to really see your worth in it. And you're learning how to be kinder to yourself, and you're learning that you didn't deserve that treatment. And you're realizing that if this situation and all of its difficulty brought you closer to yourself and to a better treatment of yourself, then it was all worth it. And you aren't going to let someone treat you with that level of disrespect again. You know what you deserve, and you know you deserve to feel full in yourself and whole in yourself, and that no other person can complete you. Your heart's saying whatever happened in the past was not right for you. And the reason for that was because you needed to learn. You needed to learn to love yourself so that you could have that reflected in your external environment. Everything starts within, and then it reverberates out. And you were learning, you went into this hermit mode to find this love within so it could reverberate out and be expressed to you in your external environment. And you've definitely transformed in this situation and aren't the same person you were when you went into that. And you have been very humble and really just realized that your thinking patterns were skewed, that you obviously needed to re-navigate your environment to treat yourself better because you were accepting less than you deserved in the past. And I see that by being trusting in the divine, by moving forward and doing all of this work, you're going to find that ultimate satisfaction you'd been looking for in the past. It was an illusion that you'd found it before, and by finding it in yourself, you'll find it outside of yourself. That was just a projection of what you could have within yourself, that love you could have within yourself. And whatever the situation was that made you reflect and change your behavior, it's bringing you to a really fulfilling, happy life. And yeah, this is just a lesson in self-worth. And your heart is letting you know that everything that happened in that past situation has led you to this beauty. I think you're really coming into new opportunities for love in your external environment because you've done all this work. So I'm hearing that you should stay strong in your convictions and enjoy the present moment for what it is, and know that things are working out in your favor. And this is all leading you to your ultimate emotional fulfillment. Yeah, there's a lot more to your story than you see right now. And there's a lot of inner work you've done that have really contributed to the happiness you have in your life. So yes, Pile 2, it was an honor to read for you. This is what I'm getting for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 3, if you chose this crystal, then this is your reading on messages from your heart. So there's a very lighthearted energy, like you've just processed a lot of blockages in your heart, and this reading is giving possibility and adventure. And your heart is saying that while you had to go through a very introspective, insulated period, it's time for you to go out and explore and experience new things. There's definitely some experiences that are just like waiting on your doorstep, waiting for you to experience a new perspective and in a lighthearted, really beautiful way. And I see this freedom here that you're experiencing. And I feel like your heart has been protected for so long, it's kind of nerve-wracking to go out and experience these things in this way. But you're meant to go after whatever will give you peace, whatever will give you freedom. And where you find success is in staying true to your value of peace and wanting peace above all else and going towards things that enhance your peace and can maintain that peace in you. I'm seeing that you're meant to balance your time between nature and interacting with the world as it is now, like interact with the gavel here. It says involvement with the law, and I'm taking this as involvement with society as it normally is, or I feel like you've just been isolated for a while. And you're meant to connect with nature as well as people and balance this out. And when you come out of hiding, when you're more able to express who you truly are, you will have victory. And you're just meant to go after the things that light you up inside, that feel like they give you a spark of passion. Whatever feels like it'll bring you happiness and well-being, you're meant to explore it. This is very much an exploration phase, and I'm being reminded of you just going out with a fresh set of eyes and experiencing new people, new places, new adventures. And what's interesting is with this crystal, the other side of it is so vibrant and colorful, but for some reason I felt the need to put it on this side, and this side's beautiful as well. But I'm seeing that this spread is really asking you to open up and show your dynamic colors and be open to them too. And I think your heart is saying that you've been hiding for a while out of self-protection, and that's great. But when you come out of hiding, this is when your victory happens. This is when your joy happens. And I see this next chapter being one where you explore new things and really enjoy living life and being less in your internal world and really going out into the external world. This is your heart saying, we've had time in our internal world. We've really become who we're meant to be. Now it's time for us to go out and experience this in the external world. I think this winter and spring, whenever you're watching this, the next 6 months especially, I see being very, very prominent for you. And there being a lot of joy and new adventure and new moments and really enjoying yourself and enjoying the people around you as well. The reason you're able to do this is because you've cultivated this inner peace. And I think you're fearful to come out of hiding and explore the world because you want to maintain this peace. But you'll be able to by keeping a balance in your life, by balancing out time with nature and with animals, and then with people and with experiences. This spread is very nature oriented, and it's really reminding me that you came to this world to experience this world and not just to experience your inner world. So this is a time for you to reflect and have fun and play in the external world. Be curious like this raccoon. And follow those primal instincts because they're leading you to your joy. And you're just basically meant to come out of hiding and not be fearful of losing this peace, because you will maintain it with balance in your life, with temperance. And you've learned how to cultivate that temperance, that balance within yourself, and that'll be reflected in your outer reality. So this is very much coming out of your hermit phase. And I see you really being vibrant and people really attracting to you. Like, this rainbow color reminds me of the rainbow color on this girl's dress. And regardless of your gender identity, I see you really being like a flame that moths attract to. You're really in your life force energy, and people will notice that during this time. And I think you make the world more colorful to people. You're meant to come into these gray spaces and bring color. There's something here about the fact that we make a choice whether to focus on, it's like that saying that there's two wolves within us, and one's a good wolf and one's a bad wolf, and we choose every day which one we feed. And you're being asked to feed. And we can think of this as like an external wolf and an internal focus wolf, and which one are we feeding? And you're meant to feed more of the one that's making you explore the world and going out to the world. Because you've balanced out this internal phase that you've been through, and one where you've processed grief and healed. You've processed a lot. When I first tapped into your energy, I felt like this weight lifting off my shoulders, and I feel like this is a new chapter where you're meant to play and have fun and let go of things you no longer need to carry and come out of hiding. I'm seeing all of these flowers here, and flowers remind me of enlightenment, and I think you have this new perspective that you're meant to experience in the outer world as well. You went through this internal period of awakening, and now it's time to experience this with new experiences in your life. And you might be fearful because of the pain that past experiences in the external world caused you. But you're in a place now where you have this peace, and as long as you value this above all else, and stay true to your value system and know what serves you and what takes you away from your truth, you'll be good. And it seems like you really know who you are and are ready to experience these new things. And yeah, I'm like hearing there's this Kardashian like meme where Kendall says to Kylie, I really feel like if you wanted to experience things, you'd experience them. Or you always say you want to experience things, but if you wanted to experience things, you'd experience them. And I feel like I sound like that right now. And Kylie's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I've been thinking about how weird it is how we follow the Kardashians' lives. Anyway, that's a story for another time. You're not meant to watch someone else live their life. You're meant to live your life. That's what I think Spirit's trying to say with bringing the Kardashians into this. Make your life one that people would want to watch, like theirs. And just in the way of you expressing and enjoying new things, not in like a materialistic, egotistical, you know what I mean? I'm not saying live like them. I'm saying experience your life, for sure. And you don't have to be as internal focusing as you have been, because there's a lot of beautiful experiences that are just waiting for you. In this period of your enlightenment. Oh, birds also remind me of enlightenment, so you're listening to me talk about the Kardashians and you're like, great. You're not, that's just on a completely different wave. But yeah, okay. Let's look at the tarot cards. I'm seeing that you're meant to spend some time out in the sun. Get that vitamin D. Okay. What does... I guess I should shuffle first. Dear Reader by Taylor Swift might have some significance to you. I think you're a very humble person and are like, what do I have to share with people? And you have a lot of beauty to share with people and wisdom. And nothing is black and white, you know? We all humans make mistakes and learn from them. That's how life works. And anyone who has made books, made art, made things that people are inspired by, had careers people are inspired by, they've made those mistakes. They've been fallible people. So it's just something to remember. We're all human. We all put one leg in the pants at a time. What am I saying? Okay. I want to shuffle again. Clear that energy of that. Oh. Okay. I feel like this is my scattered energy. Let's bring it back in spirit. Let's collect. Okay, for pile 3, what do you want to tell them? What are messages from their heart? Okay, that's enough. We have the 2 of Wands in reverse. We have the 2 of Cups, the Tower, the 9 of Wands, the 3 of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the 10 of Cups in reverse. Okay, interesting, pile 3. Okay, now let's look at the oracle cards. We have 4th house, Jupiter, 1st house, Tracy Emin, don't hide your dirty sheets in the washer. Concentrate on finding, not losing yourself in your art. Decay can be a fertilizer for new ideas. My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. And I honor how I want to feel. Wow. Spirit's really coming through with the heavy hitters. It's a little... Okay, the fact I'm struggling with getting everything to fit, it's reminding me that you might feel like a lot's going on in your life right now, and you're not sure how to make it all fit, and it will. So that's the first message I'm getting. It's crazy how these cards reflect what we were talking about. The whole point of this is you're meant to honor how you want to feel and what you want out of your life. And there's something here about, I feel like it feels like all of this came in out of nowhere. And the main thing I think you've realized through your past experiences is you don't want to lose yourself in these new experiences. The point of this new experience and for you to go out into the world and have these new possibilities is to find yourself within them even more and not to lose yourself. And I love decay can be a fertilizer for new ideas, because I think a good way of looking at your past experiences that still can cause you pain and grief is by thinking about the fact that what you've learned from them, the decay of them, can be fertilizer for your new experiences. You can build off of them. And the main prerogative here is that you focus on how you want to feel and have faith in the universe that you're being led in the right direction. And I see a lot of happiness here and expansion. And I see harmony in your relationship with yourself, and that's being reflected in your external world. I see some very beautiful love coming into your life, whether this be romantic or platonic. Some new love is definitely coming in. And it's going to feel like it came out of nowhere, and you're going to feel defensive because of your past experiences. And I'm hearing don't hide your dirty sheets in the washer. Like, be honest about where you're at and what you're working on in these situations, because no one's perfect. And I'm hearing that you can't make everyone happy. And if something feels right to you and how you want to feel, and you're finding yourself in it rather than losing yourself, I think it's a good path to follow. And maybe this isn't how you saw your happiness coming in. You didn't plan it to come in this way. You didn't foresee this. But that doesn't mean you can't experience it and enjoy it. And there's a stability here and a growth. You're growing in yourself through these external experiences. You're finding yourself through these experiences. And I think in the past you lost yourself in experiences that were similar to this, or tug at the same heartstrings as this experience is. And this experience will be, I've said experience maybe 1,000 times in this reading, but whatever's happening here is something where you are going to grow. And it's nothing like your past encounters. And you're meant to do what feels right and sticks to your value system. And as long as you're not losing yourself, I feel like that's an indication you're on the right path. Honor how you want to feel. And there might be things about this that cause you concern or make you second guess the path you're on. And you're just meant to have faith in the universe that you're being led in the right direction. And you're not meant to feel there's one way for you to have happiness. You're meant to be open-minded to how this happiness comes in, how this beauty comes in. I was talking to someone recently about how we project onto certain people, specific people, our happiness. We're like, this is exactly what I need, this result. But what we're really looking for is the core feeling under that. Feeling cared for, feeling respected, feeling like we belong. That's a core feeling, and we project that we'll get that from one exact result. And rather than having expectations for an exact person or result, it's much better to value the underlying feeling, the greater part of it, so that you can find it more exactly rather than thinking you know who or what's going to give you that. I hope that makes sense. But being open to different opportunities and different experiences because you never know what one's going to give you that fulfillment. And that fulfillment comes from within first, but you never know what experience is going to catalyze that inner fulfillment and work with it and co-create that joy. I see something in your life is expanding, and it might not be how you thought it would expand or what it would look like. And I think a lot of preconceived notions of what fits you and what is right for you is kind of being thrown out the window. I'm hearing the defenestration of Prague. There was some historical event where people were thrown out of windows. I think it was anyway, I don't know why that's coming into my head. Maybe you are getting historical or learning about history in these experiences. Yeah. You're just meant to focus on finding yourself here and not losing yourself in these experiences. And trusting that Spirit's leading you in the right direction. Something really beautiful is happening here. And I'm hearing takes one to know one, so I feel like you're really coming into contact with people who you're meant to catalyze each other's growth at this point in your journey. So, yeah, get excited. And you don't need to be perfect. No one's perfect. Be upfront with yourself about what areas you need to work on and grow in. And that will make this process more smooth and happier for you. Okay, Pile 3, this is what I'm getting for you. It was an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye. Hey, Pile 4, if you chose the Sodalite Stone, then this is your reading on messages from your heart. So, your heart is telling you to stay true to your vision. You're meant to be very clear with yourself what you want out of your life and what will bring you happiness. And if making a vision board would help you solidify this and really know what you want, that would be really helpful for you. Because what I see is something very beautiful is coming into your life in the near future. And where there's this much beauty, there's also going to be some upheavals, and not everyone around you is going to like what's happening in your life. And I'm seeing that some of this could take you by surprise, how fast it happens. And what I'm hearing is what you're meant to do right now is prepare for any outcome, prepare for negative feedback, prepare for negative reactions to you. Because where there's these negative reactions, there's also going to be very strong positive reactions and very beautiful things happening in your life. And Spirit's making it very clear that whatever this is a blessing, but it's coming with some difficulty. I think a lot of people look up to you and are inspired by you, and also some people are repelled by your strength and your confidence in yourself. And there might be some just negative feedback or negative energy around based on what's coming into your life and the happiness that's coming into your life. So, you're meant to pay attention to your health and to what really feels right to your soul. And not get swept up in ego games. Don't get swept up in mind games. Be true to your values and to your sense of integrity, and be confident in the choices you're making for yourself. Because I see you're very powerful and you have some very powerful stuff coming in. But you need to be prepared for any reaction or any unwanted or unwarranted opinion that comes your way, because I'm seeing that whatever this is, people are reacting very strongly to it. It's something that's going to add a lot to your life and be very happy. And it's really, I see this coming as a complete surprise, all of this. Information and all of this experience, like this is all just coming in quicker than you would expect. And you're just meant to stay strong in your convictions and keep your head held high. What's interesting is right when I started doing this reading, one of the legs fell off of the chair I was in. It didn't break, but one of the screws was loose. And Spirit's really inviting you, and your heart's inviting you to really know what will make you happy and act with intention, and just make sure you're prepared when you make decisions for the effects that could happen, because I'm seeing that people are reacting very strongly to you. And this is like a beautiful thing. You're a very powerful presence, but you want to make sure you won't be hurt by any negative judgment or gossip from other people when you make these decisions. And the way you do that is making sure you're very conscious of your values and priorities, and knowing that the decisions you're making are true to yourself and true to your soul. And then after you know this, no one's opinions will affect you, because you know you're doing the right thing for yourself. So this is preparing yourself for the external reaction. I'm hearing something about the law of physics or one of the laws of physics, where every action has a reaction, and that's kind of what this is giving me here. And you're just meant to stay strong in your integrity and your values. And if you come from that and don't worry too much about what people think, you will be on a solid foundation. This is really acting based on your values and integrity, and acting with intention, so that you don't react or do anything that knocks you off balance. With Make a Vision Board here, I really see that whatever's coming in is really going to enhance your vision of your life and add to your life. And Spirit really does show me that when good comes in, there will be negative reactions to it. Nothing's black and white. And you're just meant to be prepared to stand on your own 2 feet and be strong in your convictions and what feels right to you, because you can't please everyone. And yeah, this is coming. I mean, I'm filming this in November. I think this is coming in very soon. Whenever you're watching this, whenever you're filming, this change and this excitement is, it's coming in soon. I'm also hearing that we only have one life, and we shouldn't be spending it worried about what everyone else thinks of us and their judgments of us and their criticisms of us. And as long as you're being respectful, you aren't you're not trying to harm anyone or doing anything harmful to yourself or others, you're allowed to do things that feel right to you and feel right to your soul. And there will always be negative opinions. So this is about finding the inner strength and resiliency to do what feels right to you despite the negative opinions that might be around you surrounding it. So, fortune favors the bold, pile 4. So remember that, and remember that what feels right in your heart is what you should go after. Yeah, there's something very beautiful here. And you're meant to be brave. Okay, so let's look at the tarot cards, because that was a very strong message. Yeah, a lot of good luck is here. For pile 4, what are the messages from their heart? Messages from their heart. 6 of Wands in reverse. We've got the Hierophant, Justice in reverse, Three of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Swords. And then we have 9, Fire, Capricorn, Warrior, the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am, and I am the loving energy of the universe. Self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. Okay, this is reminding me of negative group opinion. I'm feeling like there's some negative judgments coming from people around you based on a decision you've made. And you're meant to come at this from a loving place. People like to focus on other people so they don't have to focus on themselves and what they're doing that isn't aligned with themselves. It's way easier to project onto other people their faults. What I'm getting from this is how people are perceiving this, that it feels as though people are really interjecting their own opinions and making assumptions about what you've chosen to do with your life, and you're meant to pay them no mind and be true to yourself and what's right for you. And the more energy you bring to your faith, the more fearless you'll be in the situation. And this is meant to build up your strength and discipline and toughness of will and going for what feels right to you. You're meant to stay strong in your passions, strong in what feels right to you, and know that this is teaching you something. And I'm seeing that Sagittarius and Capricorn season are significant. If you're watching this when I post, whatever people are saying around you, I really feel like this is refining your character, and you're meant to be respectful in your approach to this, but also be true to your values. I really want to see what Spirit thinks. So this is what other people are saying or thinking about the situation. It's weird because it feels like a situation that people might be talking negatively about, but in the divine realm, it's what you're meant to do and how you're meant to move forward, and it's the way Spirit is guiding you, and it's through this negative energy of these people. And it feels, I want to see what Spirit has to say about how they perceive it. The world. And judge. Yeah, okay. So whatever's happening here is leading you, it's helping you elevate and rise in your power. And the Six of Wands, the reverse is still on the back. You might lose the battle, but you're winning the war here. Whatever that means. And people might have negative opinions towards it. I'm being reminded of when I dated my first relationship in high school. This is just an example of this energy. My first boyfriend, he had dated a girl who was a year older than me, like a year before he and I got together. But whenever people found out he and I were seeing each other, her and all her friends and like the whole school, it was a small private school, everyone was just so angry about it and just felt like they needed to insert their opinions. And they'd broken up a long time ago, but for like 16-year-olds, it was a huge deal that I was dating this older girl's ex-boyfriend, and I mean, that relationship didn't work out. But this energy is really reminding me of, because that experience catalyzed me to like have all of these beautiful experiences in my life. And I'm seeing, and I really feel like that was meant to happen. And I'm seeing that here, that this is going to lead to so much beauty in your life, but you might have to deal with some negative opinions and judgments before you get to the other side. But whatever this is doing is expanding your world, and it's going to be very beautiful. And whatever negative judgment is here, you're meant not to let it affect you. Yeah. Yeah. You're meant to be respectful and just true to yourself here. And yeah, just keep this. I'm hearing this isn't something you need to speak to these people about. Keep it insular, keep it to yourself. And it's really, with time, this will pass and this won't be a problem, but in the beginning, I'm seeing this is something that's better left private. And anything else, Spirit? Spirit's really just telling you to enjoy this and have fun and just keep it private and don't let other people's opinions affect you at this time. Let people say what they're going to say and project what they're going to project, and just do what feels right to your soul and to your truth. Because this is something that's in your divine path that you're meant to experience here. I'm hearing why walk when you can fly. I just feel like there's something, an experience here that you might be judged for, or people might be angry at your decisions, but you're meant to trust in your higher power and know that you're being led in the right direction, even if it doesn't always feel like it by what's happening externally. So yeah, pile 4. This is what I'm getting for you. This is an experience that's coming in that's really going to surprise you, I think, and you're just being prepared for the after effects of this coming into reality. So yeah, this is what I'm getting for you. It's an honor to read for you. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye.